Hey folks, Levi here once again. Welcome back to another review. Hope you enjoyed my review of Next Adventure Shivers of Tomorrow that I did this earlier this afternoon. That is on my channel right now. The place for super reviews, and recently I just put it on my Marvel reviews. But I enjoyed that movie. Very underrated, overlooked over, part of the Marvel animated feature films. Really good movie in my opinion. Very underrated. Now guys, I got two more 2008 movies. Uh, this film, you can say it's a superhero film, but it is a vigilante action film. Came out in 2008, and it stars the late Ray Stevenson as the title character. And I will say this: it is. I did not care for this movie at all. I hated this film. This film I thought sucked. It was very over the top, a cartoon. It was very silly, and I didn't care for this. I thought it was a pretty lame film, and I'm talking about Punisher Warzone. Yes, I'm sorry. Maybe I just did not care for this film at all. This film just bored. Yeah, I thought a bit of it was boring too. Yeah, yeah, I cannot get into this film. If you like the film, that's cool to each his own. But this is, in my opinion, this is the worst Punisher movie. Now, some of you might say, "Well, it's the Dolph Lundgren." No, I disagree. Yeah, you know what? He might have the skull, but I don't care. He's got him on the knives. Thing is, Dolph Lundgren is a better Punisher than Ray Stevenson. Yes, and so was Thomas Jane. That's the best Punisher, in my opinion. Then you get this movie. Say what you will about Dolph Lundgren's Punisher movie, and I don't care about people bitching about he didn't have the skull. Who cares? It doesn't matter. And here he's got a turtleneck, and you barely see yeah, you see it right there, but you barely see it in the movie either. And half the time he doesn't even wear the skull, you know. Yeah. But those movies were not over the top. They were not cartoons. Yeah, and they have better stories as well and better villains. Before I get into all that, though, let me get into the production of this movie. Talk about the film. But by the time this movie came out, the Thomas Jane version came out, it made money. It did, just not a whole lot of money, I guess you could say. And it's a shame it got negative reviews, and it deserved that. I love Punisher 2004 movie. That's definitely an underrated movie. I said the best Punisher movie in my opinion. For production, in February 2004, 2 months prior to the Punisher's theatrical debut, Lionsgate Entertainment announced the studio's intent to produce a sequel. Avi Avart, chairman and CEO of Marvel Studios, expressed his interest in developing the franchise, saying that the second film would become the fifth Marvel property to become a sequel. I guess that's why they call it Marvel Knights, which I've never heard of. So I guess because this film didn't do well at the box office, I guess that didn't happen. In March, the director of the first film, Jonathan Hensleigh, said that he was interested in working with Thomas Jane again for the Punisher 2. Because again, the movie did not make a whole lot of money, but it did a moderate success. I would say. In April, Jane said that the villain for the Punisher 2 would be Jigsaw. And Jigsaw, let's see, yeah, that Jigsaw right there looks better than the Jigsaw in the movie than in this movie. His name is Billy Russell. He's coming up against like Spider-Man, Nightcrawler, I guess. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and read about the entire character. But in November, Jane said that the studio was interested in making a sequel based on the successful DVD sales of The Punisher, was the only primary pressure for the follow-up. So I guess the film did well on DVD sales and stuff at the time. In March 2005, Marvel Studios announced a 2006 theatrical release date for The Punisher 2. In April, Lionsgate Entertainment CEO John Feather confirmed the LGF's 2005 third quarter analyst called that the studio had completed that deal to develop The Punisher 2. Prior to July, Avard was revealed that the script was being rewritten and the sequel would start filming within the year. By July, Jane had put on 12 pounds of muscle and was hoping for filming to start in late 2006. In March 2006, March 2 was announced to be produced in Louisiana, being listed in the domestic charter under Louisiana's Secretary of State. In August, Marvel Entertainment revealed a new film study that Punisher 2 on its partial list of production still to be determined. Thomas Jane said that the writer was halfway through a draft and that he was believed filming could begin by February 2007. Jane confirmed that the villain Jigsaw, first announced in 2004, will be in the film. Jane also said the director Jonathan Hensling will not be returning to direct the sequel, which sucks. There's your number one problem. In addition, Lionsgate Entertainment, the studios returning to New Orleans following Hurricane Katrina, announced that The Punisher 2 will begin filming within the year. In October, Jane said the script was due in a couple of weeks and that it would be darker, bloodier, more unfriendly than the first one. The screenplay was being written by screenwriter Stuart Beadle. It was announced that the Kurt Suter, a writer for The Shield, was involved with the script for The Punisher 2. That he had an enjoyable time writing the script for the sequel and that it was going to be very true to the character. Thomas Jane revealed that a new script had been turned in and everyone was hoping it would be worked out. The lack of a good script had been holding up on production. His further statement that if everything goes as planned, the filming should begin in June or July. Shortly afterwards, the letter Jane wrote that he pulled out of the movie, saying, "What I won't, what I won't do is spend months of my life sweating over a movie that I just don't believe in. I've always loved the Marvel guys, and I wish them well. Meanwhile, I'll continue to search for a film that one day might stand with those films that the fans have asked me to watch." On February 14, 2009, Starter purposely removed his name from credit, saying, "I took name off the movie for a few reasons. It's because I didn't deserve the credit. There was a little money drafted to stay in the shooting script. The one big thing they kept, how the piece where we saw how Russell become a jigsaw." In May 2007, director John Dole was in talks to direct, but declined, criticizing bad script and lack of budget as the reasons for passing. And I don't blame him. Once John Dole, I think I've heard that name before, or maybe heard of it, but I don't know if I've ever seen him. Okay, yeah, this is the guy that directed Joyride. Yeah, with the late Paul Walker. Yeah, and Steve Zahn. Yeah, and Lily Sabaski. I can't say her name right, but yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, at least that guy knows what a good movie is. And Joyride was a really good movie. A lot better than this, by the way. Yeah, yeah, a bad script before I wrote the script for what they were going to do with this movie. I was like, no, I don't want to be part of an overtop cartoon. It was announced that Lexi Alexander would then take over the role as director as a result. In December 2000 interview, she wrote that when she first got the Punisher 2 script, she passed on the project, but later changed her mind after reading the Max Adult Punisher comics. Getting a script from Lionsgate, she could give him give the project a new look in a film and cast a new actor in the central role of the Punisher. The writer Alexander pitched her vision of the film as a throwback to the 80s era action film, stating, "I said we can't do it like this," and that's exactly what we want to do. That's your big problem right there. Trying to be like the 80s. The 80s you can say is over the top. People can say, oh, 80s films are over the top, cheesy, but they're not cartoons. They're badass. I can name a lot of 80s movies I've seen that are action films in the 80s or 90s that have good action in it without being cartoon. You know, this was way before the Fast and Furious franchise eventually. Because what we have Fast Four, yeah, we're Fast. Fa- no, I'm sorry, we didn't have Fast and Furious film until the following year. Fast Forward didn't come out until 2009, but this is before the Fast and Furious movies after Paul Walker died when they became like cartoon over the top. It was announced that actor Ray Stevenson will play the Punisher in the sequel to the 2004 film. Filming was slated to begin on October 2007 Monumental. The filming Stevenson ready every illegal issue of Punisher Max. Underwent endurance, martial arts, weapons training, so he fights a lot. With former Force Recon Marines and film choreographer, can't say name, Patty John, so he had to learn how to use martial arts and use guns. And obviously, working title for the film, The Punisher Welcome Back, Frank, was announced. The new version for the name they called it Punisher Warzone. In mid-September, the director announced that cast members joining Stevenson with Dash Miski, Colin Sam, Des Hudson, and Dominic West will be starred as the main antagonist, Jigsaw. And Wayne Knight will play the Punisher's armor best friend, Michael Chuck. He was now at the Punisher for many years and assisted the Punisher by building weapons, supplying technology, hacking computers, and providing friendship. Michael Chuck gradually evolved from the Punisher's friend to a bitter enemy after their final falling out. Okay, wow, they became enemy. I didn't know that. I've never read the Punisher comics. Patty Cussler was considered for the role of Jigsaw, but the offer was tried to give it to West, who previously turned it down. According to Freddie Prinze Jr. also auditioned for the role, but despite being impressed by his audition, was refused by Lionsgate from accepting the part. Filming occurred from October 22nd to December 14th in Monterey. Photography for Punisher Warzone was completed on December 27th. Film locations included Station like the Five Roses Flora Plant, the Old Port, some other places they shot at. In order to evolve with the look of the Punisher comics, so far they highly Certain color lighting, with only three primary colors on screen at any given time. Creative conflicts. The film was set for December 12, 2008 release, but was pushed back 3 months. Lacey Alexander had been removed as claimed that she had been removed from as director. A second trailer was revealed to the public at the San Diego Comic Con. Alexander did not make an appearance on the convention, which caused the fans who attended the film's panel questioned whether her name had been taken off the film. Alexander confirmed that she had seriously battled with the Lionsgate, but none that she was ever officially off the film. Her name was off. Alexander notes that she did not have final cut privilege of the film. Uh, the movie for marketing, you did get a trailer, TV spots, and all that. They had a video game too for the. I guess that was based on the movie The Punisher: No Mercy. The game is an Arsenal-based first-person shooter with four arsenals available at launch. So I guess you get to play the Punisher, taking on villains, bad guys, and all that. And they have Nick Fury in the game, Dum Dum Dugan, Outlaw, and Black Widow, where he's fighting Jigsaw like he does in the movie. But I've never heard of this game. I've never played it. I don't think that was based off the Tom Shane movie. Probably based off of this movie. But a little history on the Punisher himself. His name is Frank Castle. He's an anti-hero. So, not all superhero movies or comic book films, not all of them are for kids. People can think that, but they're wrong. Because a lot of them are not for children. The Punisher is not for kids. The Punisher is an anti-hero, yes. The Punisher, he kills, he murders, he kills. He uses guns, bullets, you name it, knives, swords, guns, and he kills his enemies. He's not a kid-friendly character. You know, he's not jokey. He's very serious. He's very dark. Like Blade, the first two Blade movies. Those are rated R movies. They're Marvel. You can say they're kind of like horror movies. Those are probably the PG-13 of both movies. And Spirit of Vengeance. Spirit of Vengeance is bad and over the top. I mean, it's so bad I can laugh at it, but at least I can get a laugh out of this. This I can't get a laugh out of because it's just too much. Over the top cartoony stuff going on here. But anyway, yeah, this movie just blows my mind away. Really, sorry for the pun intended. Of how boring it is. But like I said, and then you have V Vendetta, Watchmen. So there's some comic book movies that are not for kids. And even the two Tim Burton movies, Batman films, I would answer for kids. Batman Forever has its dark moments. I mean, it is family friendly, but not completely 100%. I think there was if we get the Schumacher director's cut, of course, a darker version of it. But I know that's DC. Yeah. And sometimes DC movies can be dark as well. So, the Punisher made his first appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man 29 by February 1974, originally as assassin and adversary of the superhero Spider-Man. He's obsessed with vengeance. He's the character of the Punisher. He wears the skull on his shirt. The Punisher's backstory where he was in the Vietnam War. Uh, my name's Frank Castle. Like I said, his family ends up getting murdered. And therefore he feels like that justice was taken away from him. His young daughters were killed and his wife was killed, and so he became the vigilante known as Punisher. It was in development. A follow-up to The Punisher began 2 months before its release. It was released as a sequel, Thomas Jane, but I guess that never happened because he departed for 2006, like I said. It was released in North America by Lionsgate on December 5th, 2008. It was released, yeah, it had a a $35 million budget, but only made $10.1 million at the box office, so it was a box office bomb. But the film has a little cult following, which I don't get why, but that's just me personally. This was the final Punisher film to be produced by an outside studio before the rights referred to Marvel Studios. But you did have a television series, yeah, that starred John Beluthano as the Punisher. Yeah, and that's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU. Roger Ebert said, "Used to be able to depend on a terrible film being poorly made. No longer. Punisher Warzone is one of the best made bad movies I've seen." He added, "The film's only fault with that, it's disgusting." Patton Oswalt even said, "This is the best time I've had the movies this year." Oswald hosted a screening of the film in Los Angeles. I'm like, well, I don't know what you were talking about. Patton Oswalt. I don't know what time of good time you were having, but I wasn't. For the cast, you have the late Ray Stevenson as Frank Castle, the Punisher. Ray Stevenson, honestly, I'm not too big a fan of this guy. I mean, may he rest in peace. I know he passed away back in May last year, but I'm not a fan of him as the Punisher. He did some voice work like Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Yeah, he was in G.I. Joe Retaliation as Firefly. Yeah, he wasn't very good in that movie, and he was in Thor: The Dark World as well. Better movie than this. Yeah, and Donna McWest as Billy the Butte Jigsaw. Okay, he was in Star Wars episode on the Phantom Menace, and of course this movie, Johnny English Reborn, Tomb Raider, the 2018 Tomb Raider movie that does not have Angelina Jolie in it. John Carter, The Awakening, Doug Hutcherson as James Rusty, Looney Bin Jim, who's his cannibalistic psychopathic brother. Now you basically probably remember him in as Percy from The Green Mile. He's a lot better than that than he is in here. Colin Colin Simon as FBI agent Paul Podesky, former partner of Nicky, a guy that the Punisher kills, and he pursues the Punisher at the movie, tries to arrest him. I basically know this guy for James Bond film for three. He played Charles Robertson in three James Bond films. Worked with Pierce Bronson in James Bond. He was in Tomorrow Never Dies, The World's Not Enough, and Die Another Day. I just remember him from those movies. Dash Meek, Dash Meek as Detective Martin Soup. Let's see. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I remember that 2005 movie with Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. I Am a Legend with Will Smith. And Wayne Knight as Linda Slivern, Microchip. Onward to the Punisher. He makes his live action film debut. And I thought Wayne Knight was pretty good. Wayne Knight, I probably should remember him from like TV show like Seinfeld. But I basically remember him as a Dennis Nerdy in Jurassic Park. You know. Now, gotta say the magic word. Gotta say the magic word. Or in Space Jam as Stan. For Richard R. Poor with the late Christy Alley, who passed away about 2 years ago now, by the way, and Tim Allen. And he voiced Yao Al. Look, draw that man in the chicken shoot. Yeah, we're gonna make big bucks. Toy Story 2. He voiced Tantar and Tarzan, and he was in the movie Rat Race. Yeah, comedy. But and I think let's see, he was in. Oh, he voiced Zurg and Buzz Lightyear, the Stark and Man Adventures. I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, he wasn't Cheaper Brothers. He had cameos as the electrician. You know, he did some voices for Kung Fu Panda, a voice for Kung Fu Panda 3, Tom and Jerry Lost Dragon, Scooby. Let's see, Scooby Doo and the Goblin King. But a good actor. What was that Wayne Knight? Julia Benz is Angela Delante, the widow of an FBI agent. Julie Benz, though, I remember her in George of the Jungle 2. She was in Rambo 4 that came out this year. Rambo 4 is a lot better than this. And that came out, I think, sorry, that came out in January 2008. She was in As Good as It Gets, talking to Jack Nicholson. Jawbreaker. Her, she's done some good movies. I just remember seeing her first time seeing her was for me was George Jungle 2. Yeah, terrible sequel, but I liked her in that movie despite how bad it is. But good actress, very beautiful woman. Mark Combs known as Carmine Pizzi Guerreras. Romney Orsi is FBI agent Nikki Tonto. Pamako Snut, I can't say his name right, sorry. TJ Storm. Yeah. Carlos Calampesis as Carlos Puz. David Vellum as Curtis. Yeah, yeah. And it's directed by Lexi Alexander. Let's see. I haven't seen too many movies she's, you know, made. It says she worked on the TV show Arrow with Stephen Amell. She like directed, I guess, some episodes. Supergirl, so she worked on the Arrowverse shows a little bit. Taken Show, Limitless, Boy Meets World. She worked on that. Yeah, just looking at her. Sorry, I'm just looking over her filmography, some movies that she's directed. Yeah. Oh, she does have a movie called Absolute Dumbin' that is a upcoming science fiction film. That I guess is supposed to be released sometime this year or here in December. But yeah, I can definitely tell she is not an action film director. So, and I'm not being sexist for saying that, you know, because you had a woman that directed Wonder Woman 2017, Patty Jenkins, and I thought she did a good job directing, especially Wonder Woman. I enjoyed Wonder Woman. I thought that was a great movie with Gal Gadot. Yeah, so I'm not being sexist. The film is written by Nick Sato, who's written for TV shows like The Sopranos, Law and Order, Prison Break. Hasn't done much film work, so yeah. In The Fugitive show from 2020, Paul McCormick and Mark Howay, they they were the script for the first Iron Man movie. Oh, and they were on Transformers last night. They were the script for Transformers last night, and Men in Black International and Uncharted. Yay! Because those were such good movies. And they're writing Craven the Hunter. Great, another Marvel movie they're making. I'm kind of nervous about that one, to be honest. But they wrote the script for Uncharted and Men in Black International and Transformers last night, and those two films suck. It's like the only great movie y'all wrote was Iron Man. Are you kidding me? What happened? It's based on Punisher Marvel Comics. It's produced by Gail Ann Hurd. And this woman, she produced movies like The Terminator, the original Aliens, over James Cameron, and The Abyss too. She produced Tremors, executive producer on Tremors, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, No Escape, The Ghost in the Darkness, which I like that movie. Dante Speak both Ghost in Darkness and Dante Speak, the underrated movies in my opinion. Clock Stoppers, I love that movie. The Hulk 2003 movie, blah. And The Punisher 2004 with Thomas Jane. And The Incredible Hulk 2008, she produced that and this movie. And Hellfest. Yeah. Cinematography by Steve Gaynor, which I have never seen any films that he's done. Sorry. Music is by Michael Windmacher. I can't say his name right. I'm sorry. He did music for Twin Dragon, Super Cop 2, for One My Love, Mass Keeper's Big Move. Fun little fun Disney movie. Never Back Down, which I like that film. Underworld Bloodlords, Blood Wars, and Trick. French companies Lionsgate Films, Marvel Studios, Film Motion Pictures, MHF Suite, Academy Film, CGF Entertainment Inc., distributed by Lionsgate Films. With the movie Sony Pictures releasing. So Sony has something to do with this, I guess. It was released December 5th, 2008, and it's 103 minutes long. The budget was $35 million to make this movie. The the cost to make this movie. And the box office made $10 million worldwide, so it only made $10 million worldwide, so $35 million, so it flopped, and well deserved it flopped, in my opinion. But anyway, let's get into the story of Punisher Warzone, shall we? 25 minutes in, I'm sorry. Anyway, it's about 1 hour 47 minutes. Yeah, and you feel that the whole pain of the movie. But the story is that Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, turns the streets of New York City red as he wages a one-man war against the crime syndicate responsible for the death of his wife and two kids. He's basically going after mob bosses. He's going after the mob and criminals, killing them one by one. It takes place about in the movie in the timeline of the movie. It's like 4 or 5 years after his wife and two daughters' deaths. But he's aided by his trusted sidekick Microchip, played by Wayne Knight. He almost kills Billy Rusty, Dominic West, who leaves him horribly disfigured. Billy renames himself Jigsaw. With the help of his crazed brother Looney Bin Jim, recruits criminals from every corner of the city to do battle with Frank. And basically, Jigsaw's goal, since he got his face injured, his face fucked up. Sorry, excuse the language. He basically wants revenge, and him and along with his brother, they want to they get all the gangs in the city, and they want to kill the Punisher. Meanwhile, Punisher actually kills his cop, who is the widow of Julia Benz, and her daughter. So they get involved in this too. So Punisher has to save them as well, and he has to defeat Looney Bin, Looney Looney Bin Jim, and Jigsaw defeat them and stop them from killing the daughter, and basically killing him too. And he has to stop them once and for all and defeat them and take them down. All right, it's a plot in a nutshell for you. Yeah, but I want to talk about the movie itself. Then I'm gonna give my final opinion. So this will be a rant because I do not like this movie. The movie, it was just decent music. The music, honestly, I wasn't a fan of the music. The opening was okay. I'm sorry. The cinematography is ugly in this movie. You will say, what's the dark movie expect? V for Vendetta, Watchmen, those have beautiful cinematography in it. You know, hey, the Punisher of 1999 is good cinematography. The opening, the theme for that is very good. I love the opening theme for the Punisher of 1999. I may not well remember it, but well, I will say this though, I could listen to it. Remember, I would listen to that music over this, but the opening titles in here even suck. So we get the opening titles, you know, the Punisher and all that stuff, and you see Frank Castle just getting into war, getting his guns and stuff, his hideout, and he goes take these criminals down. This small boss named Gilno Zero, who his nephew named Billy, or Rusty, whoever, Dominic West, they go over, and the Punisher's doing, watching out for him. And you have Dash Mac, who is a Detective Soup. Yeah, Soup, which is a really cheesy name. I'm sorry to say that. Really dumb name. But it's from the comics. It's fine. And the actor playing him is fine. And one cop is like, well, you know what? He's doing us a favor killing these pieces of garbage. Well, we can't do it. Punisher sees some guy. He kills this guy. Billy talks to his uncle about running the business. Yada yada. I don't really care. And his uncle says something about calls his brother crazy. He's about to kill him. They're upstairs, and him and his uncle, who's in the wheelchair, they're gonna have dinner until the Punisher turns the lights off, has a flare, starts jacking everybody. He, cuts the guy's throat, kills him in an overtop way, and blood and everybody. This lady tries to grab the gun, but he grabs it fresh knife, breaks up the guy's neck, starts stabbing at people, and gets on a rope, kind of like Mission Impossible with machine guns. Yeah, and basically the guy tries to hit him with the chair, and Punisher kicks him in the chair. The end of the chair ends up in his eyeball. Yeah, but that was a decent action scene. It was decent. Yeah, I still say the Punisher 1989 had a better opening. because it didn't need to be over the top of this violence. Yeah. Say what you will about that movie, but it was not a cartoon. But Rusty's, he finds out where Billy's hut is. It was a recycling plant, and he comes up against this detective Nikki. Him and Dominic are talking. They're talking to these, I don't know, drug dealers that are like acrobats, and they're very over the top. Hey man, how you doing? They're all hyped up on drugs, and this is what I hate about these movies, especially this movie. The villains are the worst in this movie. They're so over the top and cartoons. Talking funny, have on drugs. Yeah, man, we're gonna do some business with you, and just laughing. Punisher shows up, shoots Nikki by accident because the dumbass just comes across him, sees the Punisher, just pulls his gun, and he gets shot. And of course, the Punisher's not gonna know you're a freaking cop. He could have just, well, anyway, I forgot to mention Punisher, like, his nose is broken, he fixed it. He talks to a cop, or that cop that was saying that, these guys deserve to die, that agrees with the Punisher's actions. Frank, he pulls a gun on Punisher and he tells him the guys are going this way, and Punisher listens to him. That's when he fixes his nose, which I kind of like that moment. Like, okay, that the Punisher, no pain is no big deal for him. But he shoots the cop, and then Billy and his boys here, they shoot at the Punisher and punch one of his boys out. Yeah, yeah. This is Glass Crusher Machine. This is a dumbass villain too because how he becomes Jigsaw. He falls in the Glass Crusher Machine. Just shoots him, clumsily shoots at him, and just I guess Castle shoots something or whatever, and he falls over the road. He's like, what? And just Castle, did you for this? And he rolls around there and messes his face up real bad, scars him really bad, and he realizes that he killed an undercover FBI agent, Paul, the guy who plays Charles in the James Bond movies. He's a cop in here. He honestly reminds me of Louis Gossett Jr. a little bit. They have a funeral for the guy. Punisher goes to Frank goes to his wife and daughters. You know, if I became the Punisher, you see a bit of his past. He was a happy man. That he was going to retire to become his family, but they witnessed a mob murder and they were murdered. So that's how he became the Punisher. See the moments of he's having PTSD, but I don't think he really needed that. What I like about Dolph Lundgren, I know it's gonna sound weird, not in a weird way, but he's crazy because he's like butt naked in his hideout, just saying, "Come on, God, tell me, is punishment meant in me?" Yeah, because he's crazy, he's emo, he's dark hair, he's just serious guy, you know. Or when he's looking at a picture of his family, he didn't need to have PTSD. He just was Thomas Jane. He's just hanging all the time, you know. Thanks for dinner, Our Punisher saying, what do you call working a murder? 125 murders, Frank. A work in progress. See, those lines of dialogues are great. The Punisher line, I'm sorry, I don't like Ray Stevenson as the Punisher. He's just lame, in my opinion, and forgettable. But anyway, Paul, the guy named Paul, the implication that was Nikki's agent wants to go after the Punisher, passed out to the captain, calls them, you cream pie eating motherfuckers don't do nothing all day. He's like, there's the task over there, and he goes to meet Soup. He wants to bring Castle Justice once for all. Uh, he goes to the family. Frank, Castle tries to give the business money. He's talking to the daughter a little bit. She's like, stay with my daughter's like, remember, if you're gonna shoot me, shoot me. Like the Punisher doesn't care to die. He's that crazy. You know, he doesn't mind dying. But you have Rusty gets mutilated. And his daughter can't fix his face. And honestly, the makeup is horrible. I'm sorry. And Donna West, I thought he was okay at first when he was Billy, but when he becomes Jigsaw, he becomes completely over the top and silly himself. Like he's trying to be Jack Nicholson's Joker. And this is the same year The Dark Knight came out. Now, despite that movie being overrated, that movie's not over. Well, Christian Bale's voice is over the top and cartoony and silly, but And the action can be lame, but Heath Ledger's Joker is great. The makeup on him looks great. Even the Two Face that CGI and Aaron Eckhart, it looks great though. I love the way Two Face looks in the Dark Knight. He looks better than this. You know, he kills his doctor, and he says, first of all, we're gonna get my brother out of jail, then we're gonna do this, then we're gonna get friends with the Punisher. What we're gonna do, Billy? He's like, Billy is dead. Call me the Punisher, and do not call my brother Looney Bin or whatever. Yeah, he frees his strange brother, eventually Looney Bin Jim. Uh, yeah, and it's the guy who played Percy in The Green Mile. If you've seen The Green Mile with Tom Hanks and the late Michael Clark Duncan, but he's over the top. He wants to get revenge on this nurse or doctor guy, whatever, um, who feeds him every day, teases him to, won't feed him applesauce or whatever. He's like, I want my applesauce back. Yummy, yummy, in my tummy, tummy. And literally cannibalism. And that's disgusting. I was disgusted by that. What am I watching? The Human Centipede or something? Or the Centipede movies from the sci-fi man that I heard were disgusting? Some stuff in movies I can't handle. Like cannibalism, to me, that's just disgusting. That is disgusting. And he's very over the top and silly as well. Yeah. Lenny Van Jim is, yeah. But Castle feels guilty about it. Like I said, he visits the wife and stuff. Wayne Knight, who plays Microchip, tells him it wasn't your fault, Frank. In the war, collateral damage happens sometimes. There's nothing you can do about it. It wasn't your fault. And Castle wants to retire. So this is the moment in the movie where half the time Punisher's walking around, he's thinking, oh, I'm going to retire. The Punisher doesn't retire. Even if he makes a mistake, he's human. I can forgive Punisher that. But you didn't need Julia Benz in this movie. You didn't need the girl in this movie. We had kids in the first movie. You know, Lady Tanaka. You know, when Punisher, Dolph Lundgren was at war with the mob too. But the villains, they weren't over the top and silly and goofy, you know. And they kidnap these children. He has to get a bus, save them. There's a moment where he holds their hands, and the moment when he tells the kid at the end after killing the other villain at the end and saying, "You're a good boy, Billy. Or you're a good boy, kid. Don't do it to feel like you're dead. Because if you do, but if not, you don't. You grow up to be a good man. If not, I'll be waiting." You know. And the Punisher does war with his son and his family getting murdered. We've already had kids. We don't need another kid in a movie. This is just very cliche to see that. Oh, this was the family that he could have had. This was meant to move family. They add that drama in here. Castle considers just retiring. Microchip tells him that he learns that Jigsaw has learned of Dante's family existence because they have like a guy working on the inside and will be going after them for revenge. I guess stealing his money. But they go to Dylan Tinley's house. They hold the family hostage. But they find out the guys that the Jamaican man or whatever the guys that are so over the top and like they're hyped up on drugs. Literally, like I said, over the top. One of them are doing like jumps like oh, like the Spider Man. All three of them are Spider Man or something, doing jumps across a building. One of them does a jump. The Punisher shoots a miss at him, and it blows up in a cartoonish way. Shoots the guy in the head and questions the guy where Jigsaw might be, and he tells him so Punisher throws him. He ends up on a rail or whatever. Gets his throat cut. Punisher kicks him. He's head halfway down. And Paul and him, Paul freeze. He's like, freeze, Punisher. Frank, you're coming in with me. They fight a little bit. He's telling him, and they put him in the car to arrest him. Take him to the house. Jigsaw's there. They're going to kill the little girl. And there's even I forgot to mention there's a scene earlier where Jigsaw and his brother. He's like, look at my face. Look what he did to my face. He's like, brother, after I kill Punisher, you won't have to look at your face again. And he's just punching glass, hitting glass, just being over the top, being a monkey and punching everything and Jigsaw. and yeah, and they're over top here just throwing things and hitting things. And these two police officers show up, and he's like, "May I help you, officer? Come on right in." Kills one boss with a bat. This lady cops try to shoot him. She fights with this other guy, and then he stabs her. Then Julie Boone tells him there's money up there in the safe. And they start, there's no money. They start throwing a tantrum. Meanwhile, while the goons, you know, Paul tries to go in there, but gets captured. You know, because they're gonna kill a little girl, so he just pushes his gun down. Castle goes in because he convinces Soup to let him go, and literally when he punches one of the guy in the face, one of the goons in the face, like punches his whole face off, like you know. And then they're gonna arrest the one guy. Castle just in a cartoon way shoots his face off, like Castle, you know. And he brings him to their house. He just they bring the witness protection, but says they're gonna be dead anyway. And they shoot at Jigsaw on them, and eventually Jigsaw gets arrested. Say, "You're gonna be arrested, you piece of shit." But Jigsaw's able to make a deal. Earlier, he made a deal with another mobster, a business deal, whatever. I don't really remember or don't really care, you know, what he's doing. Passionate, but Jigsaw and his brother they give up, this the criminal that they were to deal with. They smuggling by weapons to Arab terrorists and Queens to the FBI in exchange for total immunity, which happens. The money Donald Lieutenant hid and file a microchip. They take microchip hostage. They kill his mother. His friend comes up with his pistol. You know, yeah, 44 Magnum, I guess. The updated CGI version of it. And he sees the mother dead. And he goes to the family. Oh, sorry. We cast out first, tells the little girl, this is my little girl had this, Lisa. That was her favorite toy. Little family bonding moment I don't care about. Then the guy comes down, the gangster guy who's not a gangster anymore, not a bad guy anymore, but decided to help out Punisher. And that's when he goes to check and realizes his friend's been kidnapped and that he intends to get revenge. Jigsaw's plan is to gather an army of men, of gangsters and mobsters to kill Punisher. Yeah. Gaston enlists the help of Agent of Paul and trashing him at the Brad Street. They talk in the church. He's like, I wish I can get my hands around God. Sometimes. Uh, yeah, Jigsaw like he's over top. He can walk like this, and get American flag. He's trying to do an American speech. We will at least kill the Punisher. I'm just looking for a few good men. You can help me. You'll provide the guns, and at least the Punisher will be dead. And I'm like, yeah, he gives a speech, which is very cheesy. And Paul tells Castle, you're not going there, but Castle knocks him out. Punisher goes in. A quick 15-minute shooter or 10-minute shooter happens. It happens so fast. Then Castle fights with Looney Bin Jim, who bites him like 3 times, and they're just bouncing around. He's throwing like a rag doll, and he's just doing over the top again, kicking him, punching him, jumping up, fighting him like a monkey. You know, really over the top. Jigsaw gives Punisher a choice. If he shoots one of his friends, Jigsaw will let the other go free when he's got Julie Benson and her daughter hostage. But Castle shoots Looney and Vengeance said Jigsaw kills Microchip. Enraged by the loss of his by Microchip, he attacks Jigsaw when they ultimately fight. He impales Jigsaw with a metal rod. They, fight a couple times onto a fire. Jigsaw burns to death. He tells him, kill, and it burns. And Punisher says, this is just the beginning. Outside the building, Castle bids farewell to the Donto family, and she says, you're a good man. my husband was right. And Nikki said, you're right. You're one of the good guys. Even though one of the good guys just, you know, shot your husband by accident. Yeah, that's a good guy, right? Yeah. Soup does try to persuade friend to give up being the Punisher, but has to change of heart. However, when he's attacked by a murderer, who, Punisher sneaks up and says, like, Jesus saves, and it dims with and he pulls the gun out. She's just like, oh, I got blood all over me. Yeah. And he just says goodbye for the family. Shoots that bad guy at the end, and then the end credits roll. I like the music choice at the end, but overall, that's Punisher Warzone, folks. Yeah, that's the end of the movie. And honestly, let me give my full opinion, my final thoughts on this film. Oh. All right. Well, anyway, I hated Punisher Warzone. This film sucks. This is boring. This is just so over the top and cartoonish in a bad way. The problem is, A.V. Avard and the producers in the studio are just trying to bank on the money because I think Punisher was going to be a public character. Again, this is a time when, you know, Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk came out. So I think, and it was a time where some Marvel movies, well, Spider-Man 3 did make money. So despite the mixed reviews, it didn't flop at the box office. It was a huge hit. Even if Fantastic Four: Rise of Silver Surfer I believe, made a profit despite the reviews. Those made money, so they probably were thinking, all right, March 2004, that made no money, so let's do something big. Because they were, this time what they're doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so they wanted to, I don't know if you ever came up with Marvel Knights and they were thinking money at the time the studio was, and AV Everard, who just ruined the character. They ruined any Punisher movies that we can get. We haven't had a Punisher film after this because this film flopped. Like I said, it had a $35 million budget and it made $10 million worldwide. So it was a flop. 100% flop. $35 million. Come on. Even movies back in the 80s, 90s had those kind of low budgets, and they still made money. Commando, First Blood, Part 2. Rambo 3 is better. And, yeah, but the story sucks. You got the Punisher, Frank Castle, fighting the mob. Like, we've not seen this before, him taking on the mob. But the thing is, though, they're at a war with Lady Tanaka with the Chinese mob. And that was a more interesting story. I don't care if he doesn't wear his freaking skull. He's more than that, and he wears the turtleneck in here, which I don't like the turtleneck. That was ridiculous. I didn't like that. You can barely see the Punisher skull. Yeah, Punisher doesn't make him because he's a skull. He punishes the guilty. Doesn't have to wear a skull to prove that. Still does it. Yeah, but that movie had a better story than Thomas Jane. It was an origin story. It had good action in it. Like Thomas Jane cut some guys up and puts the knife in the guy's mouth. Yeah, that movie had a lot of good action in it. It was very entertaining. And some good dialogue, like saying, you know, talking about John Travolta, you know, saying he's gonna fuck your life up. Howard Saint was a better villain than Jigsaw because he's not. John Travolta is not over the top and silly. John Travolta can play an awesome villain, and he's a better actor too than John Lake West, in my opinion. Yeah, because they say, says Thomas Jane Punisher. One guy says that when he's getting rid of his money, throwing it outside the window in the building, he's gonna fuck your life up. He already fucked my life up. It's just better lines of dialogue. Or like, what do you call, the Punisher, Dog Wonder, Frank? What do you call 125 murders in the past few years or whatever? 125 a work in progress, or Lady Tanaka Punisher. Who do you work for? Batman. See, those are fun dialogue to listen to. Or when the casino scene where he's shooting up the casino, or when he's beating up a guy with a chain, throwing a knife at a guy, or you know, or stabbing a guy in the foot with a boot with a knife. Had a boot that has a knife in it and stabs a guy. Yeah, and then chokes up a guy. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the story sucks because you didn't need him trying to retire. You had family. They throw family drama in here. Yeah, it starts off with some decent action, but then it takes a break. When I watch a Punisher film, I want to see some punishment. I want to see the Punisher going after bad guys, taking names and going to punish them. That's what the Punisher does. He goes after bad guys. Finds out who's he's going to go after next. He keeps on going. Even low life criminals he'll go after and kill. But in this, they had the family drama there with Julie Benz and stuff. I'm not saying she was terrible, but yeah, she wasn't needed. And the story is just lame. Jigsaw is a lame bunch of Benny. They're just so over the top cartoony. You know what? The punchline scene, the villains weren't over the Lady Tanaka. And I forget the actor's name. Jerome Creed. Creed. I can't say his name right, but good actor. They're better villains. They're not over the top. They're not a cartoon. You know. Yeah. They're not trying to impersonate nobody. John Travolta is a way better villain. He's not being over the top and silly. You know. Yeah. Jigsaw feels like he's trying to be Jack Nicholson's Joker. Like I said, Heath Ledger from The Dark Knight that came out same year as this is better as a better villain, and the makeup is a lot better. Say what you will about Ghost Rider Vengeance. Yeah, it's a bad movie, but Blackout looked good. I like the way Blackout looked with the makeup and stuff. You know, as bad as that movie is and over top it can be, I can still somehow have fun with that over this. But maybe my opinion will change on that. Can't think of any other movie. V Vendetta, the first two Blade movies already are, and they have good villains. Yeah, and it does it without being a cartoon. And you're trying to be 80s action. No, Lacey Alexander fails as a director for this movie because she can't direct action, can't make a good action movie. You're not an action film director. I can double tell that right off bat. I'm not saying this out of sexist, folks. Wonder Woman 2017 movie that has really good action in it when it's there. Even the Wonder Woman 1984 had good action in it. You know, when it wasn't bad CGI, but a lot of it was good action. Yeah, and it didn't bore me. This bored me. It was like 10 minutes in the house when he was going to the Burr Street. When he goes in the bill, it's like 10 minutes in there, 15 minutes. It goes by so fast, and his little fight with it. Well, honestly, I was falling asleep because it bored me. Jigsaw was a boring villain, over the top, trying to be Jack Nicholson's Joker. Yeah, and the makeup looks terrible. Jack Nicholson's better in makeup. Even Spawn in 1975, Michael J. White looks better in makeup. Yeah. But the script, honestly, the guys that wrote the script for this movie, they did a terrible job. One guy did it because he basically wrote a script for like TV shows, not movies. And Art McGlone, who also wrote the script for Iron Man, you wrote a great script, a good story, but because you didn't have, Jon Favreau. Again, folks, I'm not trying to be sexist. A woman can make a good movie. Yes. Awakenings by Robin Williams. That's a great movie. That's directed by Penny Marshall. Penny Marshall, I think, directed a comedy too. Uh, no, I can't think about it, but I've seen that, female directors who can make great movies. You know, I don't care if it's a man or woman as a director, but if they can't do it, like Anne Lee was not the right choice for Hulk. You know, yeah. Gillen she did a good job. He produced better movies. He produced The Terminator, Aliens, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, The Abyss. Better movies. Longer than this, probably, with The Abyss especially, but better movies. Yeah. Cinematography is ugly. The editing is horrible. The action scenes are pretty lame. They're over the top and cartoony. When they die, they die. Oh, yeah, and he smokes to a guy in the bathroom with his guns. He was like, what the fuck? And then, oh, just with these pistols, with the 9mm, just blows his head right off. I'm like the Punisher here is super duper powerful. You know, like his guns are not real guns. They're magical guns that I guess he bought from, the guy that sold Jack his beanstalk or something. Sorry, I had a little humor there. Yeah, seriously, did he buy it? These guns from Jack, the bean, who sold his beanstalk or something? Okay, I'm on that. But the music score is pretty forgettable too. Action is lame. 130 minutes long. The film just was boring all the way through. You don't really get enough Punisher action that much, and when you do, it's lame. It's over the top and cartoony. It's a boring film. The best thing about it for me was Wayne Knight. Wayne Knight was great. I really loved his performance for a short time. He's great. Julie Benz was good. Dominic West, he's alright in the beginning, but when he comes to Jigsaw, he's terrible. And Doug Hutcherson, he's a lot better than Green Mile. And here he's just over the top on the cartoon, just yummy, yummy in my tummy. Just rolling around like a crazy, like he was high on set or something. Dashmick, he does alright. He has his funny moments. He's a pretty funny character, but he doesn't do a whole lot in this movie. Just kind of here and there to be the comic relief. And Colin Salem, Charles from the James Bond movies, he's alright. But I prefer Louis Gossett Jr. in the 1989 movie, and I prefer the villains, and I prefer the two other movies. First two movies, they have better stories. They're more interesting, and those films have better action. Yeah, and The Punisher, the first film came out in 1989, and that was not a cartoon. That had awesome action in it, in my opinion, and it wasn't a cartoon. You know, yeah. First, the problem with this movie is studio interference. If you're a director who hasn't made an action movie, doesn't know what she's doing, yeah, and you get people who work on this movie who have no what the hell what they're doing, trying to make an 80s stuff, and you're doing it wrong about. You got to stick with the times of now. Rambo 4 was awesome. You know why? Rambo 4. Rambo, when he was battling, the villains weren't that great in the movie, but they were good. You know, first of all, Rambo, what made him so badass? And he shoots two guys, shoots one guy's head off, fucking uses bow and arrow. You know, kills a guy with a machete, cuts his freaking head off. Gets that big machine gun, you know, blowing people up, shooting bad guys, shooting their torsos off, bloodying them up. And at the end, he stabs the bad guy in the freaking guts, cuts his guts out. Rambo just cuts his guts out, and let's go to watch. That is a true great action movie from 2008. Rambo 4, or John Rambo, whatever you want to call it, it's Rambo 4, I'm going to call it. It's a better movie. And Stallone is a better actor than Ray Stevenson. May he rest in peace, but I'm not a Ray Stevenson fan. He's just a lame, uninteresting Punisher. Dolph Lundgren and Thomas Jane are better, in my opinion. You know, if I had to rank the Punisher films, though, from best to worst, or favorite to least favorite, I would say, well, from best to worst, I would say the best Punisher movie, I would say the Punisher 2004 Thomas Jane version is the best one because of the story. But my favorite, second, second best would be that one, Punisher 1989. It didn't bug me that he didn't wear the skull. And my least favorite will be this. And the worst Punisher movie, from best to worst, Punisher 2004, Punisher 1989, and the Punisher Warzone 2008. Yeah, the worst Punisher from this movie just sucks. But anyway, my rating for Punisher Warzone, I did like Wayne Knight, and the action in the beginning I thought was pretty decent. Yeah. And the song at the end, and then credits I thought was pretty good. But Wayne Knight was good, Dasher Make was good every time he had to. Colin Samuel was pretty good too. Didn't care for Ray Stevenson. Down West Julie Benz just didn't need not to be in this movie. Her New York accent just didn't work for me. And the film was just boring. But for Wayne Knight and the actor who played Detective Soup, they're really good, you know. And some of the action, especially in the beginning, was decent. The rest of it is just over the top in a cartoon and boring. It's like, Rambo 4 and Rambo is not going to war. He's just sitting in the movie pouting the whole movie, guilty about what he's done and not doing anything. The Punisher just sits half the time, does nothing in this movie. It's not family drama. You don't put family drama in an action movie. When you have an action movie, vigilante action movie, you need to have action the whole movie. You gotta keep going with that. You know, yeah. That's why those two other films work. Punisher 1999. You want when you get a Punisher movie, you want action. You want to see Punisher killing bad guys, kicking some ass. You know, and not have to wait. You know, till the third act nearly comes. But anyway, yeah, you don't in the beginning and then at the end, but the middle you don't do nothing with it. Lame movie. My rating for it, since I like Wayne Knight and the music song at the end, and Salama, I can't say the actor's name. Yeah, Dash Me. They were the only good things about this movie. So my rating for this film, I'm gonna give this 1 out of 5 stars and a thumbs down for Punisher Warzone. If you like the movie, that's fine. This movie is cool. I'm sure this movie has fans out there. I'm just not one of them, folks. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but I'm not. I'm just unconvinced that this is a good movie. I would never know why anybody likes this movie. I mean, that's cool if you do. I respect your opinion 100%. Okay, this is just my purely 100% purely my opinion. You're welcome to disagree with me. It's a free country. Well, it is, and you're welcome to have your own opinion on this channel. You're welcome to have your opinion. You can disagree with me. That's fine. We agree to disagree on this film. So, guys, in the comments down below, once again, my rank for the film is 1 out of 5 stars and thumbs down for Punisher Warzone. So, guys, tell me in the comments down below What do you think of this crappy movie, shitty film that I hate? What do you think of it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you agree with me? Uh, what's your favorite Punisher movie? What's your least favorite Punisher movie? And which actor is your least favorite Punisher? I would say Ray Stevenson. Sorry. Least favorite Punisher movie, this. The worst one is this. My favorite is the 1989 film. But tell me, guys, in the comments down below. And if you've seen the Netflix show, uh, I'm not going to put that in the description below, but if you've seen the Netflix show, tell me what you think of it in your opinion. I'd like to hear some thoughts on that if you guys seen it. But if you haven't seen Punisher Warzone, by the way, pay attention to the description below. So always look in the description box below. There were spoilers in this review. So don't spoil it for yourself. Anyway, that's probably we're done with that. Thanks for watching, guys. And stay tuned for my next review. It is a Neo superhero film that stars Samuel Jackson, Scarlett Johansson, Eva Mendes, Gabriel Machina, Sarah Paulson, and that is a film called The Spirit. That's my last review for 2008. So you'll be seeing this review tomorrow. So stay tuned for The Spirit. Oh boy, I haven't heard too many good things about this movie. So I don't know what to tell you guys. I've never seen Spirit. So, but I do not look forward to watching it. So, but I do count it as a superhero marathon. So, in the comments down below, guys, tell me what you think about this movie, Punisher Warzone. What's your favorite Punisher movie? And who is your favorite or and least favorite Punisher actor, in your opinion? Tell me in the comments down below, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Remember, I punish the guilty. Bye bye. Yeah, well, at least I punished this movie, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Bye bye.